Hi everyone, I'm Ren and welcome back to my channel. If you are coming from part 1 of the book Advent Calendar, welcome back. And if you're here starting at part 2, make sure you check out part 1. I am post-editing, so they are in 2 parts, so I won't look this way for the rest of the video. I kind of realized after that I need to split them in 2. So this is the second part. If you have any questions about the books or the process or the original intent and idea, that's kind of explained in the first video. If you're clicking this one first, my partner just did an advent calendar for Christmas for me, and so these are all the books that he picked out, and hopefully I do a good job explaining where he got them from and why they're good and why I wanted them. Thanks for clicking, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this second part. So this next section is books that he got me that are part of a series that I already have. So he got me the sequel to A Magic Steeped in Poison. I can't obviously talk about the sequel because it's spoilers for the first one. I have not read this yet. It's on my TBR for this year. I bought it last year at a bookstore in Ann Arbor, and this is one that I thought was normal fantasy, and it's not. It's YA, which is totally fine, but the plot seems really unique. I believe the main character poisons her mother on accident, and then accidentally, I assume it's an accident, gives her sister the same tea and is trying to save her life. So there's this competition. It's like the magical competition of tea making. And so she's hoping to go there because whoever wins gets a favor from the princess, and she's hoping the princess can help her save her sister. The main character underestimates the politics of this place because it's a kingdom. The backstabbers trying to win this competition, and I believe there is romance in this because it does like allude to there's a boy she meets she didn't expect to see coming. But this is one of those covers that just absolutely blows my mind because it is so beautiful. Like, oh my god, like literally probably the most beautiful cover I've ever seen on a book. Same with Daughter of the Moon Goddess, just beautiful covers. He got me the sequel to All of Us Villains. This and the sequel to A Magic Steeped in Poison he got at Target, but he got it during that like sale where it's like buy 2 get 1 free. So yeah, can't talk about this one because it is the sequel to this one. And this one I have not read yet either, but it is compared to Hunger Games, and people have said that also, like, because I know there's a lot of controversy revolving Light Lark, so a lot of people say like if you don't like Light Lark and want something similar to that concept, this is a really good one. I have heard nothing but good reviews of this book. I have a whole shelf behind me that's just dedicated to villains and anti-heroes. That is my favorite thing ever in anything ever. I'm a die-hard Loki girl. I love a good villain, and like The Shadows Between Us is one of my favorite books because it's kind of about a morally gray, both the characters are morally gray, and that's one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm hoping this is really good. Like I said, it's like fight to the death tournament that happens every generation. It's between all these families fighting for like this well of magic, this like very powerful like spring, I believe. It's always been a secret, but what makes it different is for this one there's a book that is released that is a tell-all and exposes everyone. So that kind of like throws things off for the competition because now everyone knows everyone's weaknesses, strengths, dirty laundry. So it's pretty chaotic, and I'm super excited to read this. I have the first and second one, and I heard this like leaves off on a really bad cliffhanger, and so the fact that I have the second one already lined up, I can just go from one to the other. The next one is the sequel to All the Stars and Teeth. I already had this one. I got this one from Book Outlet, and then he got this one from Book Outlet. So yeah, This is also, like I said, a series I haven't read. A lot of these sequels I haven't read. I mean, I haven't read the first book, but it's one of my highly anticipated reads. I'm trying to be more intentional this year with getting through my physical TBR. But I'll probably read this in May because it's like Mermaid. All Stars and Teeth. A lot of people compare it to Pirates of the Caribbean. There is a princess that has a very like scary magical ability, and it's very powerful, and she's about to become queen, but she has to prove herself worthy, and the night she's supposed to prove herself, something goes wrong, so she flees. She is the princess of a like island kingdom, and when she flees, there's a pirate, there's a stowaway. I heard there's mermaids in here. The magic system in this is super unique. The characters are very vibrant and lovely, and well, not lovely, but lovable. I heard the characters in this are really lovable. I don't know if you guys have ever read The Young Elites. That is my ultimate favorite series of all time. That has a lot of anti-heroes, it revolves around villains, but that one has a like found family.
I don't want to spoil anything, but there's found family in there, but it's kind of like, you know, so I have been looking for something very similar.
And like the magic system in Young Elites was very, very unique, and the problems with it were very, very unique. So I'm kind of hoping that this is something similar to that. So the next book he got me is Wicked Beauty by Katie Robert. It's not really like, I mean, it's part of a series, but I'm one of those people that's like, I have to read the first. I don't even care. If it's in the same universe, I gotta read the ones before it. So I do have these two. I have read Neon Gods. This was a book I read last year. Like I said, I love Hades and Persephone retellings. I didn't care for this type of retelling, but the writing was amazing. I was really like pleasantly surprised. Obviously very spicy, but there was plot. I did not expect plot out of this book, and it did deliver on a good plot. And this is the second book. I haven't read this yet. I bought it as soon as it came out because I was trying to like get through all of the Dark Olympus books as fast as I can. But I know this one's about Psyche and Eros? I believe it's Psyche and Eros. I believe that's the original myth of Psyche and Eros. So it'd be weird if it wasn't that. But Wicked Beauty, I think it's about a throuple between Achilles, his lover, and Helen of Troy. Which, you know, like, Helen is the face that sunk 1,000 ships. So this sounds like actually really good. When I saw the golden apple and I saw the name was Wicked Beauty, for some reason I thought it was about Aphrodite, and I was like, oh, and I heard it was about a throuple. I thought it was about Aphrodite, and I already knew it was about a throuple. So in my head I was thinking, oh my god, her and Ares and Hephaestus, because like if you know Greek mythology, she has like this long love affair with Ares. That's how Eros came about, Cupid. It's her and Ares' love child, and then she is forced to marry the ugliest god, which is Hephaestus, and but she's still hitting it on the side with Ares, and I believe like the god of the sun, I think his name's Helios, I could be saying that wrong, but the god of the sun, I think, exposes them and puts them in this weird trap, and so like Aphrodite and Ares are like exposed to all of Mount Olympus when they're in bed tangled when she's cheating on Hephaestus. Anyway,
I love Greek mythology. I'll get off on a tangent. So I thought that's what this was about. Like I thought like it's gonna be
Aphrodite and a throuple between the two guys, but nope, it's, which I haven't read Song of Achilles yet. Maybe I should read it before I read this. But I know it's like cursed lovers. I don't know if that's something that's gonna be translated in this or not, but yeah, super excited, spicy. Oh, and paperback. And this is my cat, Athena. Now that we're talking about Greek mythology, she's named after the goddess of wisdom. When we first got her, she just seemed really intelligent, and she would always like stare at us like she knew what we were talking about, and I couldn't like really figure out a name for her. And I had a list of names because my other cat's name is Loki, and I wanted to keep in the same like mythology. But she's kind of goofy now, not gonna lie. She makes some questionable choices. So not so much like goddess of wisdom, goddess of cuteness maybe, and fluffiness and cuddling and screaming at the top of her lungs when she wants attention, but she makes questionable choices. Anyway, All right, so another sequel. He got me the Monarchs. He loves monarch butterflies. That's like our symbol of our relationship. So I think he was just dazzled by the cover. But it is the sequel to The Ravens. I should have added this on. I don't know much about this. I think it's about a sorority and they're witches secretly. And it's like about a competition between two girls in the sorority. One is like she wants to be the leader or the president of the sorority because it's like everyone in her family was. And there's this girl that didn't even know she was a witch. And she's not even like, from what I read, she's not like a stable person. She doesn't like keep friends. She doesn't stay in the same place for long. But turns out she's a witch and she gets bidded on. I don't know how sororities work. She gets bidded on, and then so she joins the sorority, and they have to like put away this competition because someone knows the secret of the sorority and is trying to expose them, and there's like a darkness on campus or something along those lines. So I'm not sure if it's good. I feel like the reviews were half and half, but I do love witches. I do love anything that has to do with that stuff. So, and also this cover is really beautiful. I got this one from excuse me. I got this one from one of my local used bookstores, and he got the sequel on Book Outlet. So yeah. All right. This is another middle grade book. It's a sequel to this one, furthermore. This author is amazing. So I have heard that the writing in this is absolutely wonderful. I already had this one. I also got this thrifting a long time ago. I've always wanted it. You can find these books really cheap on eBay for like $3 or $4. I believe he got this one on eBay, and it is in really, really good condition. I feel like this isn't even like a real sequel. I think it's like a continuation of like The World, because The World does have a very beautiful magic system. It has to do with like colors and magic, and like the main character and furthermore doesn't have either of those. The main character doesn't have like colors on her, and that equates with magic, so she doesn't have, if you can tell from, also these covers, look at these covers. Sorry, was that one out of frame? Oops. Anyway, these covers are so beautiful. Anyway, this one is about her dad getting lost and her going on an adventure to try to find him. She wants to feel acceptance from everyone because she is different. She is a bit of an outcast, and she's trying to find her dad. She goes on this very whimsical, wonderful adventure. There's a guy that tags along the way. I believe his name is Oliver. The world building in this, I was told, is amazing. The writing style, this is supposed to be a very, very easy read. The characters are 12 or 13, so it is a middle grade book, but I've heard it is amazing. And like I said, this author does a really good job with fantasy worlds, and this just seems very fantastic and whimsical. Like I said, I feel like the second book is just a book in like the same universe. So yeah. All right, so if you stayed with me this long, thank you so much. I'm gonna try to have these in sections, but the next section is graphic novels, manga, and everything of the sort. All right, so these were two in the same day. This is one of the books I probably should have been like, I don't know anything about this, but The Dragon Saint Beloved, I'm so sorry. It was one of those books I opened and I was like, oh cool, this looks cool. Didn't know the name. Dragon Knight's Beloved. All right, The Dragon Knight's Beloved. This has a trope of fake marriage, and it's about a girl that takes care of dragons, and the knights in this ride the dragons, and she has a fake marriage with like the commander of the dragons. It's the first one. I believe he got this from eBay or Book Outlet. Let me check. Oh, it has a dot. Book Outlet. So yeah, this was probably $3 or $4, I believe. And then, oh, way too high. Your Name, the manga. So I'm trying really hard not to get off on tangents in this video, but this, if you have not seen the movie to this is one of my all-time favorite movies, easily in my top 5. Oh my god. He knew this was my favorite movie, so this is why I got me the manga. I don't even need to read it. I know what happens, but And I feel like the manga can't even touch, if it was a graphic novel maybe, but they can't even touch the beautiful animation in the movie. If you have not watched it, oh my god. I don't even know how to describe it without giving it away, because it has the biggest plot twist I have ever seen in my entire life in a movie. So, of any type of movie, animated, anything. So, I'm trying to think of ways to describe it. So, without giving it away. One, if you love beautiful animation, just watch it based off that. If you love a good plot twist, that's the second point that I keep bringing up, because the plot twist is so crazy that I remember watching it and being like, what just happened? So, all I can basically say, there's a boy that lives in the city, there's a girl that lives in the country. She makes a wish, like, on a comment that in her next life she'll be a boy from, like, Tokyo or something like that. Like, she hates being a girl, and, like, because she's having problems with, like, her expectations or something in her life, or, like, just having normal girl problems, and misogyny, I assume, is why she wants to not be a girl anymore. But she was like, she literally screams it, like, make me a boy. Right after that, she wakes up in a boy's body. Conversely, the same boy is waking up in her body, and this is going on for a while. Like, they have no idea what's going on, but they have no idea who this other person is. And so, but when they wake up and they're in their own bodies, they just think it's a dream. And what happens when you wake up from a dream? You forget it. So they are trying to, like, figure out who the other person is, and they just keep forgetting everything. And there's, like, a few spots where they're like, what is your name? Like, what's your name? What's your name? And, like, they just, because they're trying to find each other, because they know they both exist in the same world. And every time they forget each other's name. And so they try to write down stuff when they first wake up, but things aren't working out. This is definitely, like, a movie about fate and cosmic events that happen. But if you want to read this first and then watch the animated movie, I just feel like the animated movie, oh my god. And I watched it when it wasn't yet an English dub yet, and I have the DVD on English dub, so I'm going to rewatch it soon because I've only seen it in Japanese. And there are a few jokes, I mean, if you watch anime, you already know, there's some jokes that don't translate over into English, especially with the whole gender thing, because they have certain names for certain genders. So if you can watch it with the normal way that it was intended in Japanese, do it. If you are like, nah, I don't feel like reading extra, I already read it all the time, the English one should work just fine. You still get the point across, the plot twist still hits just as hard. But yeah. This is a book channel, but I'm talking this movie, the book, everything, so good. But anyway, here's Crumbs. It looks so cute. Again, it's about witches. I think a witch that works in a bakery, which is so cute, so cozy. Maybe it's not cozy, but it looks cozy. It's on Webtoons. I love Webtoons. I recently went through a really bad where all I did was read Webtoons, and that's why I have a massive TBR now, is I got so distracted by Webtoons. I have never seen this advertised on Webtoons, but I'm just really glad that I can read it in the physical. But it just looks so cute. Hold on. So cute, so cute. Yes. And also, again, I love that it's a woman of color. Main character, that's like my favorite jam, especially when you are yourself a woman of color. You love seeing diversity and representation and fiction, especially. So I am super excited. It's very thick. I feel like it'll still be a really easy read though. So really cute. Yeah. All right, Twisted Romance. This is a bunch of short stories, I assume about messed up stuff, like messed up love. I'm one of those people, I used to collect comics, and this was a comic series, and I will grab a comic because the cover looks cool or it sounds cool, and if I like it, I'll buy the whole thing. And I only bought the first two in this, and it looked pretty good. Never read them. But this graphic novel was really cheap. I think you got it for like $2 on Amazon used. But it's a bunch of different stories and different artists, and that is really cool. But yeah, I don't know if you can, let me try to find a good page. But yeah, sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, so It's supposed to be 12 different stories in here. I don't know how. There has to be a second book, but it says 12 tales. It's made by Image Comics. That is my favorite comic company. I also really love Marvel, but that's like a different thing. This is my favorite like independent comic is Image. My favorite comic in the world is called Sleepless, and it's just two. It's fantasy. Oh my god, so gorgeous. I might just do a video on like if you like this book or if you like normal books and you want to get into like comics or webtoons. I might do a video about that, but like love Image. Hopefully this is good. All right. Punderworld, I think I'm saying that correctly. It's another Hades and Persephone retelling. I feel like this was like just comic strips before it got made into a graphic novel. When I used to have a Pinterest board of like Hades and Persephone things, so there was a few comics that I pinned there that looked like these two characters, so I feel like it's the same thing. One of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to Hades and Persephone comics is the way they look, because for a lot of Hades and Persephone retellings, they always make Hades like a tall, dark, and handsome man, and he's probably hella tall and hella handsome. This man, though, is in the underworld. He is not getting a lick of sunshine. Typically, it depends on what retelling. He is going to look like a pale emo boy, and so that has always been like the vision in my, the vision in my head I've had of Hades is emo boy. And when it comes to Persephone, the Percy Jackson movies, I know they weren't the best, but Persephone in those movies is how I envision her, because she's, even if she isn't a woman of color, she's still like outside constantly. She should be tan, and I feel like she should either have red hair or brown hair. But that's just how I envision her, and so I feel like this is very close to what I envision them as. That's why I read so many Hades and Persephone, because I'm trying to find one that like matches what in my brain. And next is the Tea Dragon Society. I don't know what this is about, but it is stinking cute. I saw this at a comic book shop a long time ago when I was collecting comics, and it comes with like it doesn't come with a card game, but there is a card game. So I don't know if the card game came first or after or what, but I am, either way, I want it all. And I feel like I've also seen someone with plushes of the characters. It's very thin. I'm talking all over the place, but it's very thin, so it should be really easy to get through. I know there's definitely more than one book in the series. I feel like there's more than one card game. I feel like there's 2 card games, but it is so cute. And I feel like this is also middle grade, but I don't care. It's so cute. I think this is one of the books also he got brand new. Oh, same with Punderworld. I feel like, no, yes. Punderworld and this one, I feel like were brand new from Amazon. The OK Witch. He picked this out on his own accord just because he was like witchy stuff, which is like the theme. Yeah, this is middle grade. This is a graphic novel. It looks very, very, very cute. I just kind of like flipped through it, and it is like so cute. So I'm hoping that it's really good. So he got it because he said the girl looked like me. I don't know. She just has curly hair like me. So yeah. The last one, I believe. Well, there's 2, but they're part of the same thing. They're heavy. Volume, is this 2? 3. Volume 3 and 2 of Lore Olympus. I love, 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 love Lore Olympus. Can't talk about this necessarily, but I did bring volume 1. Already had volume 1. And honestly, I have read up until what Webtoons has updated. I just really wanted the physical copies of this, because when they all are published, I'm going to reread the entire series. If you have not read Lore Olympus, what are you doing? And I know a lot of people, because it is on everything, it was the #1 Webtoons for a while. Now it's a hot topic. When you see a Webtoons ad, it's usually Lore Olympus. So a lot of people, when they see a book that's super, super popular and like oversaturated in the market, they're just like, how good can it be? You know? I believe this book, the series, because, it was Webtoons first. deserves all the hype. I am very particular about Greek mythology retellings, and she does such a good job. She does her research. She makes sure that the characters are diverse. And I know that's like weird because the characters are like pink and blue and yellow. There is trauma. There is topics that are talked about that have to do with mental health and family issues and setting boundaries, and there's people of all different shapes and sizes. Persephone actually has I feel like she has the perfect body. It's so rare to see like a curvy like main character in things. And not only is she curvy, there's lots of characters that have different body types and builds. There's people that are like gender fluid. Like, so that's what I assume the attention is, because there's a lot that are like, to me, look gender fluid as a queer person. The diversity is a big thing for me that I really like, because you are seeing so many things talked about, so many different characters, and there's a lot of like subplots and like other plots besides just Hades and Persephone, which I will warn you, there is slow burn to the max. It is to the max, but you are fortunate now if you want to pick it up now and you haven't read it before, because you can just speed right through that if you weren't with us in the trenches when it updates every Monday and you have to buy coins to fast pass it because maybe someone will kiss, maybe someone will touch their hand, maybe they'll confess love. But yeah, so now you have the opportunity to like read all of it, which is really awesome. And it is like modern, not in the modern way that sucks. I don't want to say Neon God sucks, because like I said, I do like Neon Gods, but Neon Gods was like so loosely where you're like, okay. Like, Olympus is like a city. There's influencers. Hades is like a businessman that owns a company. Stuff like that, but they do have flashbacks of what you would typically think of Greek mythology. Like, they talk about their starts. I guess it's supposed to be basically like Greek mythology so far into the future, well, like present day. So they will show like Hades and Hera and I'm trying to think of the Zeus. Anyway, like the typical what you would see like in Greek mythology, like typical wear, like sandals, gold leaf, all that stuff. And they talk about like the origins of certain characters, so like you don't get the sense that you're missing out on like classic Greek mythology, if that makes sense. And that's what I really like, is like the flashbacks. I'm like, okay, this is just like we were learning about Greek mythology like in school, but the modern twist on it, because you do also see him through like the decades. Like, you see like Hades in the 20s and he has like a mustache and stuff and like prohibition and whatever. Yeah, she just does a really great job, and the artwork is so beautiful. Hi again, you lovely people. Like I said, I'm in post editing, and unfortunately my camera died when I was in the middle of talking about Lore Olympus. And I think I did a pretty good job explaining everything about Lore Olympus and why I love it. And the part that got cut off, I was just gonna say the artwork is beautiful, the storyline is beautiful. I could go on and on about lore, but thank you for getting through this whole video. If you've gotten this far, I really appreciate it. And thanks if you checked out the other video. Next video I'm gonna do is me reshelving that whole haul and like 30 other plus books that I got for Christmas and my birthday. And well, not like from other people. I've been doing some book shopping as well. So that'll be the next video, and hopefully I see you there. I also will be redecorating and reorganizing, because that's always really fun to do and really fun to watch. But thank you so much for clicking, for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave in the comments what books you guys got, what books you're looking forward to reading in the new year. I am very, very fortunate to have such an amazing partner that was so thoughtful and did this for me. I hope you guys get a book advent calendar one day, or you make one for another person, and I hope this is giving you kind of an idea what to do, where to get them from. And yeah, so if there's any comments, any questions, or like I said, if you just want to tell me what books you've read out of all of the books I talked about, I would greatly appreciate that too, because there are some books that I have no idea about and I would love to know if they're a good read or not. But thanks again. Hope you tune into the next video. I hope you guys have a lovely new year and happy reading. Bye.